Hello. Is Hello, everyone. I'm not sure who is out there, so if somebody can just drop me a chat and let me know that you're there, and we can go ahead and get started. Just want to make sure. Okay. Hi, Althea. Okay. Welcome, everyone. I'm very honored and excited to be here today and to share some of my thoughts on balancing life and mind and finding light in the dark. So, a little bit background about myself. I am the author of The Story of Enlightenment, and I'm also a creator of the Enlightenment Tool, also known as the Lighten Up Tool. I have two master's degrees in organizational psychology and spirituality, mind psychology. You know what? I have 1 second. I have some background music. Sorry, I had to just fix that. So, yes, and so both organizational psychology and spirituality, mind and body psychology, both from Columbia University. And through my years of studies and research, I have come to the understanding and belief that world peace can be experienced and realized through inner peace, through each and every one of us taking our own responsibility and finding a way to find peace within ourselves, which goes hand in hand with exactly what we're talking about today. And that is finding that balance between life and mind and finding that inner peace and that happiness and that joy. And my book actually is inspired by that very notion of finding that inner peace. And in attempting to find the inner peace for myself and taking on that responsibility of finding that balance, I began to play with the notion of what if enlightenment, which is something that we usually associate with inner peace, what if enlightenment simply could be achieved by finding, focusing, and following the light? What if that's what enlightenment is about? It's just finding the light within. And it's actually kind of funny when you look at it, it's in the word in light, in meant. Isn't that interesting? And it was this understanding and a nuance that I started to play with for myself in finding my own inner peace. And that is finding that joy and that peace and that happiness in life and focusing on that helped to inspire me for my book and the Enlightenment Tool, which I will be sharing with you today. And it's through that enlightenment that I have found that we can all find a way to find and focus on this light that's in our lives. But now, before moving on, I'd like to share a little bit of what I mean by light, because I'm using the word light a lot here. So what I mean by light is anything that makes you feel happy, joyful, that just brings excitement into your life. You know, those feelings where you just feel like you're full of light and the happiness, the joy, the good, the beauty and the bliss that's in our world. So when I'm referencing light, that's what I'm talking about, is that feeling, that high vibration, that high energy, that high frequency feeling that you can have and you can achieve through feeling up and feeling excited and inspired. And conversely, when I talk about darkness, which is the opposite, obviously, what I'm referring to with that are those low level emotions, those emotions that cause depression, despair, upset, anger, hatred, war, all of those stress, anxiety, all of those fear inducing emotions that cause you to feel heavy and bring about that feeling. So when you hear me referencing darkness, that's the feeling that we're talking about there. And every day we all have situations where we might be faced with one or the other. Our life is filled with a multitude of experiences. Some are light, some are dark. And they have different extremes as well. You have extreme light situations where you're filled with joy, laughter, and happiness when you're around friends and family. And then, of course, there are situations that sometimes, unfortunately, we are all faced with when we have that extreme upset and darkness that does enter into our life. And my family actually had a situation this last year that affected us very much so. And my husband, and the father of my children, chose to end his life through suicide. And this has been a very big challenge in our life and has caused me to go deeper into my understanding of the light and the dark, and has brought a profound awareness to me about just how dangerous and destructive the darkness can become in someone's life. Before, after, and during this experience, I have begun to understand profoundly just how much the darkness in our life needs to be seen, but also what it did more importantly is it helped me to solidify all the more my belief in that we need to find and we need to focus and we need to follow more than ever the light in our lives. And it's this understanding that once we find that light, that it's able to help us to pull us out of these dark times. And it's with this that I was inspired to create and write my book and to create the tool that I'm going to share with you that is just 100% all about that, helping to find the light in the darkest of times. And it's a critical call to action, I feel, that we need to focus more on the joy, the happiness, and the peace, and the wonder, and the gloriousness that we have in this world. And this is part of my mission personally, is to help people to be able to do that. And so with that, I'm excited and honored to be able to share with you the my enlightenment tool and my book. So the book, as I said, is The Story of Enlightenment, and it's essentially an accompaniment to the tool. And the tool actually sits nicely in the back pocket of the book. And they go hand in hand, and they are they work together in helping to understand how to use the tool and what the tool is all about. But today I'm going to give you a little bit of an understanding of how I personally use it, and how I recommend using it, and all the different ways it can be used, and hopefully inspire some other people to find it and to be able to use it if they are dealing with any hardship that they might be going through in life at this time, at any level and any degree. And we all have different experiences, and some might just be stress related with our work, and others might be very extreme. So this tool is actually made for all of those experiences. It is rooted in cognitive behavioral therapy science, the science and the understanding of that, which is along the lines, if you're familiar with it or not, it's along the lines of taking unhealthy, destructive, toxic thinking patterns and helping to reframe them and reshift them to find more healthy, purposeful, and positive thinking patterns. And it's done by reframing and reshaping the stories and the experiences that we've experienced in our life. And in CBT therapy, they use three different framing ways and steps of doing this. And there's a few different ways of people explain it. But one is they do the catch, the check, and then the change. And what that means is you first catch the unhealthy thinking pattern, then you check it and identify what it was associated with, where it's coming from perhaps, and then you work to change it and create a more healthy neural pathway and healthy thinking mechanism. And so along the same lines, that's what this tool does as well, is it helps to be able to do that. The difference is, however, the Enlightenment tool or the Lighten Up tool is something you can take with you. It's for anyone to be used anywhere at any time. And so it's great for that purpose as well, and for many other purposes. So without further ado, just to help you to understand a little bit about how the tool works, essentially there's pages in it. It's a visual representation and it's imagery only. And the reason I chose to do that is because sometimes language gets in the way. And it also takes away from our visceral, our real experiences, our deep rooted feelings. And that's where real change happens, is when we're able to tap into those deep feelings and those deep experiences. And so it is a visual representation and it's imagery focused. And so I'm going to walk you through the pages, and essentially just a little beforehand, it goes from a graduation from extreme dark all the way to pure blissful light. And each page essentially represents a different feeling and a different emotion. And so as I walk you through this, I'd like for you to look at each of these pages and, most importantly, identify what page represents how you might be feeling right now. That's the important part of it. There's a variety, and there's no wrong answer to this. There's no wrong feelings that you can have. It's just tapping in and touching and connecting and tapping into your inner experience of what you might be feeling and experiencing right now. But before we do this, I'd like to ask you all to do one thing. I'd like for you to take a minute and reflect a little bit how you're feeling right now with today. And I'd like for you to think about, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the very low level, depressed, upsetting, potentially, feelings that are associated with darkness. That's the extreme of 1. And 10 being the extreme of pure, blissful, beautiful, relaxed, peaceful light. So think of it on a stress level, if you will. 1 being extremely stressed, 10 being extremely relaxed and at peace. So take just a second, kind of touch base with yourself, have that inner question of, where do you feel you are right now? And don't take long on this, just write down the number somewhere so you have it to reference. Give you a second to do that. Okay, so now that you've done that, write the number down or make a mental note of it. We're going to go ahead and jump into experiencing and just first understanding what the tool looks like. And once you understand what the tool looks like and you see what the pages represent and the feelings that you feel around them, then I'll explain how to use the tool. So the first page, as I expressed, it starts with pure darkness. And as I expressed, this is the low level, difficult emotions, the stressful, anxiety, fear, depression, despair. That's what this page represents. But then gradually, page by page, we start to see something happen here. And we see some light come into the page. Now, as I'm doing this, again, look at each of these pages and kind of identify, based a little bit on the number you just found, where you might feel which page represents best how you're feeling today. And now here's the next page. Allows more light to come in, and you'll notice that the symbols change, the imagery changes. And I'll get to that, the reason for that in just a bit. And then here's the next page, more light filtering into the page, into the experience. And along the same theme, even more light. Now, here you can see we have 50-50. And you can see the change of the imagery. And you can look at this and say, does this represent where I'm at? And you can turn it. You can do anything you want with it to just kind of find some connection as to how you feel about this. This is your experience. Now, this is the exciting page. This is where we go and start to feel more light comes into our life experience. And a little bit more. Now we just have a little bit of darkness. And then full light. And then the final page, contrasting the first page, the last page, is pure light, representing all of those positive, high vibration, high frequency emotions, and that positive experience that goes along with all of those, and that feeling that you feel inside. So now, after you've made a mental note, kind of where in these pages you might be today, I'd like to have you take a second, and we're going to experience something with regard to this page. This is the page that we're all looking forward and feeling. And I'd like for you to take a second now and think about a time in your life when you felt extreme happiness, extreme joy, possibly your most favorite memory you've ever had in your life. And this can come from when you're a child, it can come from when you were a teenager, a young adult, or it could come from last week. So just take a second right now. I mean, today is about finding that balance with the life and the mind. So let's take a second today and let's focus on and remember a time when we felt joy, pure, utter joy and happiness. I'd like to ask you all to take this second and take a deep breath and close your eyes and just spend about a minute or two reflecting on this memory. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and now transport yourself back to that time and that space and that memory and all the beauty and the joy. I do this and I want to smile. Feel free to smile. Give yourself permission to step into this amazing space right now. You're safe. Feel all the feelings that go along with that emotion and with that experience. Smell the smells that were there. Take in all the sights, the sounds, the colors. Fully feel as though you're there again. Take one more deep breath now. Exhale. And go ahead and open your eyes. This is what this page represents. This is the pure, blissful light, happiness. What we just experienced is what I refer to as a seed of light. That's an experience that you've experienced that brought extreme joy and happiness to you. And this seed of light is something we can pull from regularly to bring ourselves back to that beautiful space and time. Now think about how you're feeling right now compared to how you were feeling earlier. How does that vibration feel? How does your energy feel? How does your body feel? How does the room that you're in feel? Chances are it feels different. Hopefully it does. It feels very positive and light. That's what this page represents. It's a seed of light page is what we call this. So what this has to do is we now are wanting to, I want to explain now how to use this tool. And the best way to do it is the first step, as I experienced before, is that we start first with reflecting on how we're feeling today. So we did this earlier and you've had the page that you identified with, but just for all intent purposes today, we're going to go to this page, the 50/50 page to start with. So I'm going to walk you through as though this was your start page. Of course, every day you'll have a different start page, and that's totally fine. And that's part of the whole process. So we're going to start today, and I'm going to walk you through as though this was your first start page. It's 50/50. You have half of the light, and you have half of the darkness here. So when you first find the start page, again, this should be an emotional response. It should be, yeah, that page, that's kind of how I'm feeling today. So you get to that page and then you go, okay, why? Let's figure out what is this and all of the nuances that are here represent my life right now. So one of the ways that might be the case here is, let's just say you got 50/50. This would be a good representation that my family life is absolutely amazing. Everything about my life, about my family is amazing. It's glorious. My children are happy. My children are healthy. They're listening to me. They're cleaning their rooms. They're doing amazing things. My spouse, she and I, we are getting along great. We're having an amazing time together. Our whole family is getting along. We're all thriving and we're all doing amazing in our lives. This is my family life. But my work life, not so much. This could be why this page represents me and my life at this time. My work life, very hard right now. It's very heavy. It's very frustrating. I'm in a situation where I have these deadlines and everyone's very rigid and everyone's expecting everything from me, and I don't quite understand how to do it. And I'm under a lot of stress, and I really don't like going to work, and it causes me to feel a lot of darkness because of that. So this is how this experience could be. And it could be flip-flopped. It could be my work life is amazing and I'm feeling very successful and productive, and maybe not so much in your home or your personal life. So you can see how it's your story. You choose to tell and you make it represent. So once you figure that in and you lock it in, this is relative to the catch and the check stages of the CBT tool, the CBT training and therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy. But how it differs now is now we're going to reframe, but we're going to reframe a little differently. We're going to start to imagine. And we're going to turn and say, well, what if this were the case? And this is what we're going to do every day. We're going to turn and we're going to go into this beautiful imaginary world where we can pull upon these amazing experiences and feelings and raise our vibration and our frequency up to a higher light level. So here, imagine if a little more light came into our lives. What might this represent? So at this point, we then imagine what this would maybe potentially represent in our lives. Potentially, maybe all of a sudden we find out today that the deadline we have has been expanded. It's been prolonged and it's not due for another month, a whole nother month. Oh my God, would that be amazing? And feel that feeling, breathe that in and imagine like, oh, that would be amazing. And you feel what that'd feel like. Then you take it to the next page. Walk yourself a little further along the path. You go, okay, well, wow, ooh, that would be really good. Can you imagine if my life was filled with that much light and my work was going so much, it was flowing so much better. People I've worked with before, all of a sudden coming into my department, I'm working with them again, and we do amazing work together. And it's so exciting and it's so fun. That's what that could represent. Then let's turn and walk a little more towards the light, focusing, following the light. Wow. Can you imagine if everything in your work life was just perfect and flowing magnificently? You were thriving and striving, and so was your family life. Breathe that in. Imagine that. Doesn't that feel amazing? So that's what we do. We walk ourselves into that experience and we hold that vibration. And guess what happens? We go there. Because when we can see it and we can conceive it, then we can achieve it. And that's the first step. That's what we must first start with. So when we can take our mind there, it's the first step to being able to actually experience it. So when we start our day, we take our mind to this place. There's one other step before we move to our magical seed of light page. And that is, at this point, we really stop and we solidify, and that those positive emotions and that high frequency and that high vibrational energy that we're feeling in our body when we're at this point and we're breathing it in. And we do this through what's called the radiant light mantra or meditation. And that's something that one of the resources and tools that you'll find in the book as well. And this is the point in your experience in the day that you stop and you do that. And what this is essentially I am statements. And it's I am statements that go along with living a very happy, positive, beautiful life. And so you walk yourself through each of these I ams and you breathe in each one of them and you feel the feeling that goes along with them. So again, I'd like to invite you to experience this right now. It's pretty short, about a minute or two. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through each of the I am statements. And after I say them, if you could take a deep breath in and feel the feeling that goes along with that, but also repeat it in your mind. So you hear it and you're saying it to yourself as well. And some of these, it's funny. Your body will say, no, that's not true. Or your mind will say that. But we're going to say, yes, it is. And we're going to just breathe it in and we're going to try to change that vibration and that frequency. And so we're going to go ahead and start with this. And so I'm going to ask again to take another moment of balance with the mind. And we're going to go inside. Feel free to close your eyes. And when I start, we'll go ahead and take a deep breath in with your eyes closed. Breathe in and out, and slow everything down again. And repeat after me in your mind. I am happy. Feel that feeling. I am healthy. I am wealthy. Feel the feeling. I am wise. I am trusting. I like saying with this one, I'm trusting that everything that's happening is supposed to be happening right now. Everything that's in my life is supposed to be here for a reason. I'm trusting this. I am grateful. I like to usually come up with 3 different things I'm grateful for at this time as well. So right now, take a second and think of 3 things you're grateful for. Breathe that in and out. I am good. I am peaceful. Hold that peace. I am perfect. I am safe. Feel the feeling. I am loving. I am loved. Think about everyone that loves you. Visualize their face. Feel what it feels like to be loved. Think of at least 2 or 3 people that love you. Feel that feeling. Fill your body right now. And finally, I am light. And with this, I want you to visualize the light pouring in. Beautiful, blissful light and filling your entire being. Radiant light from your head, spilling and filling all the way down through your arms, your fingertips, down through your legs, all the way down to the very tips of your toes. Visualize, see, and feel the light coursing through your body, coursing through your veins, lighting you up, the radiant light filling you. Breathe that in. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And at that point, you then turn to the last page. And that's the all light page. And that's the pure light page that we referenced earlier that we call the seed of light page. At this point, you should, in theory, be feeling very much the same energy and feeling you had with your very positive memory that you were reliving earlier. That same experience and that high vibration should be around the same you're feeling, if not better, in fact. And that's how you walk yourself into the light every day. This takes about 15 minutes, or for me, sometimes I get to this last page, and if I have a little extra time in my day, I might sit here for a little longer and hold that feeling. The key to that, though, is that all of the thoughts and the stories and everything else that went with this page, when we turn to this page, we leave them behind. And no longer does the story matter, does any of the details or any of that matter. All that matters is the feeling of pure, beautiful light and joy and peace. That's all that matters right here. And to feel that amazing experience. That's what this pure light page represents. And that's my hope, is to help people every day, regardless of what they might be going through, whatever experience they might be having, to be able to walk themselves into that beautiful space. Because it's more important than ever, I feel, in this today's day and age, when depression is at an all-time high, suicide rates are at an all-time high. We need to find a way to find and focus and feel that light on a regular basis and hold that frequency. And the great thing is again, it's a 15-minute process. And it's to help. The way I look at it is kind of like a gym exercise, if you will, for your mind, to help balance your mind so that you have a healthy, happy, clean, and clear mind. And it can be incorporated in many different types of situations as well. I prefer to use it in the morning, so it sets me on that high vibration from the beginning of the day. And then throughout the course of the day, I carry it with me and I can reflect back on it. And if need be, I take a second to kind of refocus, rebalance myself, and bring myself to that high vibration and that high frequency again. But it can be used for many things. It can be used if you take it to work, and maybe before you start your day, you're allowed to balance yourself and find that very peaceful center before you go about your day. Or maybe in the middle of the day when you have that midday burnout and things feel overwhelmed and you feel stressed and everything's just too much, then you take a second and step aside and feel this experience and find that light and refocus and rebalance yourself. Or maybe you need it before you have an important meeting. You can use it for that, or potentially before heading home at the end of your day, before you're about to walk through the door and be with your family. You need to change gears. It's a great time to stop and refocus and recenter and have that special time for yourself to tap in and reconnect with that peace and that inner happiness and that joy. It can also be used in conjunction with the cognitive behavioral therapy as an addition to that. And it's also can be used for trauma-based therapy, PTSD, or for crisis intervention. If someone's gone through something very difficult, it can help them to bring that light and that peace and that hope, which is very important to most difficult situations. It's also great for helping children because it's visual. Again, it's something that anybody can use, and it helps children to regulate and understand their emotions a little bit better, and it helps us to understand where they might be as well. So there's all types of uses we can use, and we can incorporate it into our lives. And there's many more even still. And I'm excited to share it with you, with the world. And I've learned that I used to believe that I needed to fix the dark, but I now know that really what needs to happen is we need to fix the light. The dark does not need to be fixed. It's not broken. It's stronger than ever. The light needs to be fixed. We need to find the light. We need to hold the light, and we need to share the light. And when we find our own inner light, we can then share that and be that light and that beacon of light for others in our lives. We can be lighter and happier, more positive for our family. And we're able to do that and share our light with our family. Then our family is able to then share that with others. And then we share with our community. And when we share with our community, then those people can help to share with the island. And then we can light up our island and make this most beautiful island in the world, and then ultimately share that with the world. I truly believe that this is possible, and it's something I'm excited to introduce and help share with all of you. And if you are interested to learn more about this, I'm happy to work with you and to talk with you. And I'm looking forward to creating programs and introducing the Lighten Up tool and the Story of Enlightenment in any capacity that you might need or have any needs for. And I'm working with Benedict Associates, and I will be introducing the Lighten Up tool into the workplace wellness world and through the EAP through Benedict Associates. So you can contact me through Benedict Associates. Or I also am planning and working with the Mindful Employee Certification Program, where we will be incorporating this tool there as well. So if you'd like to learn more, you can contact me at Sonia Powell at lightenup.com. You can screenshot this. And again, you can also contact me through Benedict Associates. I would love to share more of this with you. And my belief is from one light, many. And I wish you great love, peace, and most of all, lots of light. Thank you for listening today. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I have a little bit of time left. Thank you for listening today. Since I have a little bit more time, if anybody's still there, I actually would like you to also take a second. I mentioned it earlier, but reflect back again and think again about when you wrote down from 1 to 10. What number did you write down? Take a second right now and think a little bit about, we referenced it a bit when we went to our seat of light. Where are you feeling you are now? And if you look at where you were in the beginning and where you are now, it's very interesting how in such a short amount of time we can change our entire chemical makeup, our entire molecular makeup, and rise it to a higher level and a higher vibration. And this is just exactly the magic of what the tool does. And it allows us to completely reframe and refocus our experiences and most of all, our energy. We are all energy, and our energy is what drives our experiences. And so when we are operating from a higher level of energy and a higher frequency, then what we focus on is what we tend to get more of. And so when we're focused on that high energy and high frequency, then chances are we're going to experience a lot more happy, healthy experiences in our life. And this is what brings out that balance of life and mind that we're all looking for and we're talking about today. So it's interesting to just reflect for yourself, for your own personal purposes, where you were when we started, and on a scale of 1 to 10, and where you feel you might be now after we've had this experience and after you have walked yourself through this experience and brought your energy up to that level. Any questions? Maybe I can ask you guys a question. What is your best way of finding light in your life right now? Maybe I can have some of you answer that. What brings you the most joy and happiness in your life? How much is the workbook? Are they for sale? So they're currently not for sale because they are part of a program, and they actually aren't so much a standalone. It's more something that works in conjunction. So, but I'm going to be looking at putting together a platform where you can buy the book, the tool, as well as the program and access that online. But I don't have it up and running yet, but feel free to reach out to me and I can arrange something and if you're interested to learn more about that. Thank you, Jemai. Remembering my why and my motivations, that brings me light. My why is mainly my children, family, and my goals. I love that. Children bring us so much joy, and that is very important. And that my why is lovely. And that's one of the things that when we're on that final page, when we're in this area, that we can tap back into that and we can pull from that inspiration and that happiness and that joy that it brings us. But most importantly, it helps us to hold that and keep that vibration throughout our day and bring ourselves back there. So I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Going on walks and reading. I love that. So again, whether you're actually physically on the walk or if you're sitting and just thinking about that walk that you had the other day and the beautiful light that was coming through, that's what we're talking about. Is the tool allows you to tap back into those experiences when you might just be sitting in your bedroom in a dark room when you first woke up in the morning and it's 5 a.m. and you're exhausted and not sure you want to go to work. You walk yourself back to that experience and you hold that frequency and you hold that vibration, and then that allows you to go about your day and brings you back to that. So thank you. And I am so sorry. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but there is somebody doing lawn work outside, and my dog who brings me lots of light, is barking. So hopefully that wasn't interrupting any of your processes. But so I hope you all enjoy your day today and are enjoying the other sessions that you step into. I can show you a little bit about the book and how it looks. It's very visually oriented. And again, it gives you all types of tools, but it does work great with a program where we can walk through each of the experiences. And so I can help to understand how you incorporate them into your life. Thank you. Thank you, Jemai. I really appreciate that. I hope that I'm pronouncing your name right. But feel free to reach out to me. I am very eager and excited to share this with everyone. I will say today was the first day that I have publicly spoken about this. I just published the book this past year, and it has helped my children and I through this very difficult time. And I hope that it can do the same for others as well. Well, it's 1:00, and I will let you. Thank you. Thank you, Jemai. Congratulations. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best. I wish you all lots of light and love and peace. And thank you. It's a very big, big step. Yes. Thank you so much. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of the day. And I'll give you my contact information one more time. Feel free to reach out to me and to talk more. Happy to share as much as possible and to help hopefully bring some more light to this world. We could all use it, I think. Okay. It is upside down. Oh, is it showing up upside down? It's backwards. Oh. Oh no. Okay, I had another version. It's showing up on my screen as the other way. So here's another one. Sorry, it's a little blurry. Is that better? Sonia Powell at lightenup.com. Thank you. Sorry about that. Hopefully that works. Feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to talk more. Thank you guys all so much. And yeah, there it is. I'll leave it up a second longer. Sorry. So my Enlighten Up thing was backwards too. So let me show you the other one I had. Enlighten Up, enlightenment. There it is. So anyway, thank you all. I know there's lots of other great speakers today, so enjoy, and peace and love and light to you all. I'll let you all go, and hopefully I'll meet you all soon someday and we can talk more. Have a great day. Thank you.